Hey there and welcome to another channel review, and in this video I will review the new Rigol DG922 Pro function generator. Rigol is the newest company to collaborate with the channel, and I'm really pumped to review this equipment that will allow me to better test and evaluate oscilloscopes with an analogic bandwidth up to 200 MHz. The compact size is just one of the cool features that this function generator has, so bear with me for the usual extensive analysis of every feature of this equipment. The model that I'm reviewing today is the top of the line of the DG900 series, but in terms of features, not counting the maximum analogic bandwidth, is pretty similar with the DG800 series, so they worth to take a look also. A quick disclaimer that this equipment was sent for this review almost free of charge, and Rigol is not paying me in any way to produce this video, and they will see it at the same time you will when it's published on YouTube. A big thank you to Rigol and the team that was wonderful in their support and communication, but also to you, yes you, my viewer, that is always sponsoring the channel by simply using the affiliate access links on the screen or in the video description whenever you need to access AliExpress or Amazon for your purchases. It is the same price to you, but a huge help for the channel. Enough thank yous and chit chat, let me get this started by showing you the key features. Allow me this small break to send kudos to this video sponsor, PCBWay. Being a leader in PCB fabrication, it is able to manufacture with very low price and in record time the PCBs for your project. Don't believe me? Just take a look. You get 10 PCBs double-sided for $5. It's hard to beat this. But that's not all. You can even create your project parts like custom case with their injection mold service or 3D printing, not to talk about their professional CNC machining service. It's a one-stop supplier for all your project needs, and if you use the code below on the screen, you will get a $5 discount on your first order. Okay, so let's start the unboxing. We have a second box inside. Let's take it out. Okay, so this was already open, no worries. It's on the reverse. So this is the inside box. It seems like opening a gaming computer. Let me just arrange this. Yeah, like this. And we have the DG924. We have a BNC to BNC cable, we have a power cable and a power supply, and also a USB cable. Okay, let's take the box out of the way. It's pretty big to be here. And we still have a ground cable also. Okay. Let's take this out. Okay, my first impressions. Yeah, again, this is small. Let me see. I have a ruler here, and we have like 26 centimeters wide by 15, 16 height. And this is very thin. Yeah, something like 5. Yeah, 6.5 to the maximum. Yeah, this is very compact. We have here VESA screw holes to mount, and I will mount this on a support here in the workbench. We have also the power supply hole that is USB Type-C and a USB Type-B for connecting to the PC, and a LAN port. Yeah, I will use all of this. Also, we have in this side 10 MHz reference input and output, channel 1 aux input and channel 2 aux input. We have this fit that will give you a position better for seeing what you are doing, and a connection for Earth. Since we are using USB for powering this, we don't have Earth directly on the connection to the power, so we have here a connection that is by using this cable connected to the Earth. Okay, seems good. The plastic is really tough. It's a very good construction. On the bottom, yeah, we just have these two small fits. Yeah. So this is a 200 megahertz signal generator. It will allow me to test better all the devices up to the 200 megahertz that this supports. 1.25 gigabits samples per second. So really cool. So let's power this up and see this DG922 Pro working. I have my setup already in place. To give you a better view of the screen, I will use this pad below the DG922 Pro fit. I will test using my Rigol also MSO2102A. Even if I already have here the Rigol DHO 924 250 megahertz oscilloscope. It's a 12-bit oscilloscope, but you will be able to see the results when I'm testing the oscilloscope with these function generators. In terms of operation, there are several ways to operate this device. We can use obviously the keyboard, we have also the touch screen, and you can always use a USB mouse like this one. I have here my Logitech. So as you can see, we have the mouse on the screen. We can do every operation with the mouse, yeah, control everything. And yeah, this is pretty cool. It will help a lot when we have to write. Right now it's with a small delay, but it works fairly well. I will continue to use the screen for now. It will help to show you what I'm doing. And let me show you what we have in the screen. So we have here the waveform selector. You just need to press on the drop down and it will open this list of preset waveforms. You can select one, or you can select it directly here on these hotkeys. Okay, arbitrary, and we have noise and also pulse. We have 6 hotkeys for the most common waveforms, but you are not constrained to these waveforms. You can select from a very vast list of waveforms here on the menu. Let's see, we have standard, matte, we have in standard some ISOs, the matte functions, the trignome and anti-trignome and window function. And we still have some here in the bottom, a lot of functions to be honest. So you are not constrained to these 6 here, neither on the drop down that you have in here. Okay, the second drop down in the screen is the way you will see the signal. It can be continuous. You can modulate using this option, or here in the keyboard you have also an option for that. You have the sweep here in the keyboard, or in this option, the burst and the sequence. The sequence has to be activated only on this option in this drop down menu, but I will get back to this ahead in the video. Okay, in the screen also you have the frequency or the period. You can select the time or the frequency that will generate this signal. You have also the amplitude and the high and low values. So you can put 4 volts VPP, or you can specify what are the high and low values in the peak-to-peak. You can also change the phase, and right now we have this function disabled. I will have to see why. Let me put this in sine wave. In sine wave it will not appear. Okay, in the bottom we have these boxes. They are used to control the options that you have at this moment. Right now I have 2 options, or I can control the options of this waveform that I'm creating, or the channel options. In the channel options, we can use the sync. It can be on the rear port or not. Right now, nothing is connected to the rear port. The polarity can be positive or negative. Trigger output right now is enough, but can be leading or trailing. Also the mark on or off, and the frequency of the mark. You can invert the signal. You can activate inverted track or just activate the track, and also the high Z for the output or load. In load, you can specify the resistance in here. Okay, I will keep this in high Z. In terms of channel, that's it. Let's go again to the sign. And basically, that's most of the operation of the device. On the bottom, you have channel 1 and channel 2 here, and counter. But counter, I will have a chapter only for this. So you can have, as I was telling, channel 1 or channel 2. In channel 2, you have exactly the same options, so it's a duplicate. And in the side of channel 2, in the bottom, you can have the channel copy. Basically, it will allow you to sync both channels. For example, channel 2 for channel 1, channel 1 commanding channel 2, or you can swap the specifications. Okay, you can also align to phase with this option. Just press it once and it will do it. But you can also do the same here with this key in the keyboard. You have also here the option to store or recall. It will give you access to the memory of the device. For example, I have already made some tests with the sequence that I will show you. And for example, this one, I don't want it. You can delete it. You will confirm and the file is deleted. I had also some screenshots here, and to be honest, I didn't find out yet how to see this screenshot that I saved here in the device. Obviously, I can connect to the PC and see what is there, but here in the device, it should be able, I think, to see what is saved before. Okay, so in terms of what you have the screen, that's it. You have here also the current hour and day. This is not correct. Right now it is 18:45, so 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 6:45. I think this is China hour. So let's do a correction on this, and I will show you also the utility option. In the utility option, we have here several configurations. Right now, I have this function generator connected to my network, so I'm able to access this from my network using a browser, and I will show you that also ahead in the video. We can reset and apply the changes because you can, for example, use a static IP. You have also the LXI configuration, and you have also the setup. In the setup, you can select between two languages, Chinese or English. You have also the separation. It can be a space or a comma. Load last, default or last, the power set if it's manual or auto, and the clock source if it is internal or external. The brightness of the screen, I think that's right now 40% is working pretty well for this recording, so I will keep it. And if we have beeper or not. Also, if the time is shown, and we can set the date. We are still on the 24th, and right now it's 18:51. That is correct. Okay, so we were on the setup. I think oops. This is very sensible, this screen. So we were on the setup. Let's see the about. In the about, we have everything in here, and we have here the several software versions and hardware, I think, of this device. So pretty cool. We have the print screen if we want to output a BMP or a PNG. And also the options. So I have my arbitrary memory depth inactive. We have the open source licenses here, and you can increase the text size. And finally, you have the self-test let's do a key test, and you can see all the buttons that appear in here working. Okay. In the same way, we have the touch test. I didn't do this. Yeah, we can see that in the screen everything is working. Exit. And basically the screen test. Okay. I will exit this. So this is the utility key. We can disable the touch if you want. Okay, now you touch in the screen, but it says it is disabled. You still are able to use the mouse? No? Ah, very nice. With the touch disabled, you are not able to use even the mouse. Okay, but you are able to use the keyboard, obviously. This is not a lock device key. Also, in the keyboard, you have the Save Recall option that will give you access to the memory that I've shown before. And let me take out. And you have also the trigger. The trigger will work on the burst and sweep, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Another nice feature of this is the counter. Let me activate. The counter will be able to show you the frequency, the period, the duty cycle, the period width, or the not active width. Okay, you have also the refresh rate, auto 1 millisecond to 10,000 seconds. It's a lot. And in the last one, you can select if it will run continuously, if it is a single run, or stop. Here in the corner, we have... okay, it will change for single automatically. Okay. The same information is on the screen. What this menu does is say which information will be by default on this main indicator. And in the bottom, we have also the counter input impedance, the coupling, the statistics, if they are on or off, and the HF suppression. Something that I almost missed is that there are two other functions in the screen that I didn't talk about. The first one is if you press the hour, it will appear the config, this window. It's the same window that you press here in the utility menu. And the second one, most interesting for me, is kind of this button in the bottom. It's passed unnoticed, but if you press, it will open these options. The first one is, again, the utility that you have there. And the second one is a really interesting one, that it's the states. Okay, in terms of states, I already, to speed up this, I already put some states in here. And you have, for what I can see, 5 states, and you can save the states in there. The only thing that I feel that can be improved is changing the state 1, 2, 3, or to something that you can write. You can define the name. But right now, this state I will apply. Okay, I want to apply. And it will put the oscilloscope in the default state. I didn't talk about also this button, but this button, if you try to press it, it will reset everything to the factory defaults, including the hours. And since I don't want to set up the hour every time I do a default, and I did a lot of defaults during this test, I set up a state 1 that will put the oscilloscope in the factory default, as I already done that. But if I choose state 2, and please notice that I have only channel 1 selected and open, not counter. If I choose state 2 and do apply, it takes a while because it's managing some relays inside, but if you notice, automatically open and selected the counter and open the counter channel. And this is pretty awesome because even if the channel is open or closed, he will save that information. And when you activate, it will execute that precisely like you have had before with all the screen functions that you have. So it is a pretty neat function. Let me go again and put on my factory default state. Okay, so now you will close, we can hear the relays working, but now he will close the channel, open this one and everything else. So that's it in terms of the presets. I don't see a key here for the presets, and that's a pity because it's a pretty useful function. Yeah, to be honest, I would like to see a function, a key for that. But anyway, with such a small keyboard, I understand that they have to make some choices. And you have also the coupling menu. Okay, in the coupling menu, we have here some options. The frequency coupling, the phase coupling, the amplitude of the coupling, if it's on or off, the ratio, and everything else. So, okay, we can also customize those options in terms of coupling. And finally, we have the help. The help will take a little bit to load because what this will do is load the user manual. You have the user manual in this. The only thing that yeah, it will be kind of cool if the window itself could be larger, because you can increase the user manual, but you will see it in this small window. If we can open it in the bigger window, it will be great. You have everything in here, and you can, I think you should be, yeah, you can go directly to the pages. This is a PDF, and you can consult everything, and it is pretty fast to respond. You can even use this cursor to navigate the user manual. So it's also very good to have the user manual in here, since it is not delivered with the oscilloscope any documentation. And you can shut down the oscilloscope. Okay, I don't have much more to show you in terms of operation. I will now test this, and for the testing I will use my current main oscilloscope, my Rigol MSO2102A. And okay, let me power it up and start the testing. Okay, I will now test the bandwidth output until the 200 megahertz that this device allows me by 2 channels. So it will output 200 megahertz per channel independently, and the Rigol will support until 300 megahertz of bandwidth. So there will not be any issues testing this. I will start first with 1 megahertz. For that, we just come here and insert 1 megahertz. Open the channel, and let's see what we have in terms of output. This will be able to do a sine wave up to the 200 megahertz and a square wave up to 30 megahertz. I think it's harder to see the letters in here, but basically it's identifying 1 megahertz. We have a rise time of 293 nanoseconds average, and a VPP of 5 volts. So this is pretty simple. Let's move this to 100 megahertz and see if we have any issues with the signal. Very stable. Don't forget, this is a 16-bit signal. It has 1.25 gigasamples per second. My Rigol can read up to, or can capture up to 2 gigabytes sample per second. And we have a very stable signal. We have in the screen an average of 2.91 nanoseconds of rise and a frequency of 100 megahertz. But okay, let's take it to 200. That's what we want to see. 200 megahertz. No, oh sorry, 200. I'm not used to this keyboard yet. So 200 megahertz. Okay, and this is the maximum. If I try to put like 250 megahertz, it will say it's not possible. Okay, I will do an auto to make sure everything is aligned. And right now at 200 megahertz I have a rise of 1.44 nanoseconds. The average is 200 megahertz. The waveform in the screen is very stable. I will open now channel 2 and activate here also channel 2. And let's see what we have if I put 200 megahertz on the second channel. Let me do auto again. Yeah, the signal seems a bit more sparse. I told you before that the align key will align the signals or the phase. So let's try it. Okay, and as you can see right now, both waveforms are aligned just with the press of this key. Okay, in terms of bandwidth test, that's it. I'm putting this to the max. Let me now show you something. I will channel copy. I want channel 1 commanding. Okay, align phase again. We have a slight difference on channel 2. The VPP dropped a bit with 2 channels, but it still is at 200 MHz. So what will happen now is that I will try to use another signal. Not that we have seen how the bandwidth behaves. Let me align this again. Let's see what else we can do with this. And one of the things I want to test is the waveform, the square waveform to the maximum. Let's put it also in square wave. As you can see, it's automatically passed to 60 MHz square wave. That's pretty good for a square wave also. The square wave itself, it's not so good at 60 MHz. Let me just try with one channel, and yeah, the square wave, it's not good at all. Okay, but let's see what we can do with this. I will pass it to 30 MHz to see half of the bandwidth, and 30 MHz, it's a little bit better. We have everything correctly in here. The frequency is correct. The period is an average, well, not correct, 27. Yeah. Okay, let me see what will be good for this, like 20 MHz, 10 MHz. Okay, 10 MHz square wave, it starts to look good. Okay. It's a pity that I cannot use this knob to manually decrease the voltage. It will be pretty cool if I can do it. Ah, I can. Okay, to the right. So, yeah, let's see with 2 MHz what we have. Okay, 2 MHz a perfect square wave, up to 5 MHz 6. We are good. 25, yeah, even so. The square wave is always a little bit hard to maintain. The ramp frequency is 5 MHz. Okay, we have a few more waveforms here. Let me show you a few more. Let's see the medical or bio select. This one, everyone that made SEG knows this one. Okay, so this is a 5 MHz medical signal, and we have also some standards. Let's see what we can do, a search for example, and the common ones. We have the pulse. This is a 5 MHz output. Let's see also in the common, okay, full wave. Let me just do an auto. You should, yeah. And we have half wave also at 5 MHz. I don't know if you can go up with this one. Let's see, like 50 MHz. Okay, this one is up to 50 MHz. Well, it's not very good, but it will go there. What else we have? Okay, DC, impulse, stair. Let's see the stair. Okay, I will pass this again to 5 MHz. It was working good. Okay, and window function. Okay, I think for waveform demonstration that's enough. What I will do now is see how the counter works. what I will show you now is something also very good in my opinion. It's the counter. Let's convert this to counter. Okay, and what I did is connect the output of the signal to the counter. They say here in the bottom that we shouldn't have more than 50 ohms and 2 volts peak to peak. So let me just come here and I will put 1 volt peak to peak, back 1 volt peak to peak. And in terms of channel, let's take this to 50 ohms. Okay. So what I will do now, it's activate the counter, open the channel, and basically he's doing some relays, because while you are using the counter, the channel 2 is deactivated. It cannot be activated. If I try, like going to channel 2, he will say that is deactivated and it will focus on channel 1. So again, on counter, what we are seeing in the screen right now, it's the frequency that is being output from this side that is being identified in the counter. We have the period width, the data cycle, and I believe this is the non-active width. In terms of frequency, is what is shown right now in here, but we can show the period, the data cycle, the P width, and the N width. Also, we have, as I told you, I think before, the auto, it's the refresh time. Right now it's in auto. And we have the run, single, or stop options. Okay, if you want to do a single, just press in this corner and he will do a single immediately. If you put run, it's continuously. What I will do right now is take this to 100 megahertz. 100 megahertz. And activate the statistics. And you can see here that in terms of stats, it's amazing. The quality of the output signal, basically, it's spot on. It doesn't. We have a 4 in the less significant digit difference, but it's very nice. I will take this to 200 megahertz to see, and in 200 megahertz we have a slightly difference in here. Yeah, and we have a minimum because I activated that. Let's take the stats out of the way and do again. Yeah, and right now you can see here that the signal is very stable. It has a very nice quality. Okay, we are with coupling in DC. Let me put it to AC. AC to DC. Okay, and in terms of the counter function, that's basically it. Now I will show you a bit how to use this on the PC and what you can do with it. If we access the utility menu, and I have this connected to my local network, we have here the IP. Right now it's 192.168.1.165. So what I will do is came here to my browser, and I already have the IP and passed it here. As you can see, we have a web page with a lot of information about the device. We have the IP, obviously, we just use it to access. Also some VISA TCP string and VISA USB connect string and the SCPI port. That is not the standard one, it's 5025. You can even show, like you have on the screens, identifier. You just press in here and you can see on the function generator the word connected to inform you that is connected. Other options that we have is the web control. If you worked with servers before, this is pretty much similar to EPMI or the DREC from Dell servers or stuff like that. And you can even use the mouse on the function generator to do your operations. Right now I'm using a mouse to select what I need on the function generator. So this is pretty cool. You have all the information in here, the open source acknowledgements. So everything is in here. Also, let me take this to the sides. If you come here in print screen, you can take a screenshot, and the screenshot is a PNG because we selected previously on the configuration. Let's go to the configuration, and to access, since we don't have the buttons here, we come to this icon and select utility. And on the setup, I believe, if I'm not wrong, we have not setup, print screen, print screen. We have here the format of the image that we will save. So yeah, that's cool. Also, let me take this, and you just do a save image as, and that's it, you are done. Also, in this option, print screen, we have another feature that is the record screen. This is very useful, at least for content creators like me, that allow us to save the screen and what is happening in there. So right now you can see the mouse moving and everything is being saved to a file. If you do record stop, you can download it as a MP4. Below we have the network status. This is just to give you the information about the network, but you have also the network settings where you can change the settings. For this menu, I already put the login, but you have a login by default that is admin and the password is Rigol. So if you want to access this and shows a password, you will need to insert those, and you can change it in the future. Also, you have the SCPI. Okay, you can execute any SCPI command in here, or you can connect directly, and I will show you in a bit, to the function generator. And also you have a help page that will give you some help. Not much, only says, well, how to configure the network, but yeah. You have the security to change the password. Don't forget that the access password is Rigol. And finally, you have an access to the Rigol website. In terms of web control, that's it, but that's not all you can do. You can connect directly using a terminal. Oops, this is 65, it changed because it's DHCP dynamic. Okay, let me save. And the port is 5025, and we will do a telnet. Okay, at first you don't see anything in here, don't worry. I will copy this and paste. You put one time and here it is, you are connected to it, and you just need to insert the commands to be able to use directly by the terminal. But again, that's not all. You have also the UltraStation utility. Okay, this is a pretty cool utility. I'm having a small problem with it, but I will tell you just in a second. So this will allow you to create arbitrary waveforms. You can start a new waveform based on an existing one. For example, I will start a new one based on a sine wave. You say for which instrument, in this case the function generator, I will use the DG922, that's my device, Pro. I will use the SEC60M. Okay. Waveform, we have the number of points that we want, amplitude, the cycle, and sample rate. Also the phase. That's it. This is just to show you. And he creates a waveform. We can do several operations in this waveform. We can do a point draw, and he will do the curves from one point to the other. You have here on the top how the waveform will look like. Okay. You have also the free draw, and this is much more free, so you can do whatever you want. And the line draw. This one, instead of doing curves, it will do direct lines to the signal. You have several options here on the right side that will show you regarding what you are editing, the current position, the XY values, and so on. And also in the top you have several options to use. You even can do a cut, copy, paste, you can delete, mirror, invert, and insert another wave. So It's a lot of options, but that's not all. You still have a formula editor that you can use to create formulas for sine waves and do the math operations. You can use this form and, for example, do a multiplication with, well, I don't know, a standard waveform, something like multitone. Okay. And the end result of this multiplication will be this waveform. Okay. So also nice. And you have the view. You can hide the grids or show. The software itself, it's pretty cool. The problem that I'm having is when I want to send this to the function generator, and I am already in contact with Rigol to solve this, but unfortunately the time I have for this video is already running out because I still have a lot of equipment to review in this end of the year. The DG900 also from Rigol is waiting. But going back to my problem, I want to add the instrument, so we can put here the TCP IP address. Let me insert the address. It's 192.168.1.165. Okay, we will select socket and I want to connect to the port 1525. That's the port that we are using here for the telnet connection, and also it's the port that is being reported, where is it, as the SCPI socket port. Okay, then I do a test connection and it fails, or okay, it fails, and I can select which TCP option here. It will not help. But anyway, I'm solving this with Rigol. This device is awesome, even with this little glitch, but it is on the software, it's not on the device itself. And I'm trying to understand what is going on here. They recommended to use a cross cable. I already did a firmware upgrade, so I will see what is going on, but you have an idea of the software. And in terms of PC access to the device, that's it. Let's move on and conclude. Wrap up time, and starting with the price, this device, as mentioned before, is the top model of the DG900 series, and these series are being sold on AliExpress official store from 648 euros, more or less $680 for the base version, and go up from there. And this is roughly the price you can also find in Rigol official website. If you decide to go with a version from the DG800 series, the price starts at 278 euros or around $293. And let's be honest, those are not the most accessible prices if you are a novice. But what I can say is, if you have the economic power to invest in a better device like this, it's worth it. Don't forget that currently is running the Black Friday promotions and will be running for one more week. And you can get big discounts up to 80 euros on AliExpress, and also really big ones on the Rigol website. You have the coupon codes on the description of this video to use. Don't forget to access with the affiliate links. Going back to the DG900, the quality is evident in every experience you have with it. From the construction, the sensibility of the screen, the attention to the detail in the UI. The overall user experience, nothing bad to talk about it. Well, almost. If I have one thing to point out is the size of the waveform preview. In such a nice function generator could be a little bit bigger. In simple waveforms like sine wave or square wave, it's not an issue, but if you modulate the signal, for example, it's almost impossible to see the resulting waveform output in the preview. But this is a minor issue to me, and the quality of the 16-bit signal is amazing, and outputting 200 MHz waveform signals will not make any difference. It will still produce two stable signals. One of the most surprising things to me is the size. It is small. It will free a lot of space on my workbench, and since it has VESA mounts, the next thing is to install mounts on the wall to have it retractable. My professional working history has a lot of server administration, and the remote operating for me was like going back to manage a server with EPMI or a DRAC. really smooth operation, and the fact that you can now use a mouse or a keyboard for that matter is really cool and will allow you a totally different control over the function generator. I had a small issue with the UltraStation software. It was not connecting to the DG922 Pro, but I think the problem is in the software. Maybe something that I'm doing wrong, because at the same time I was also using the web interface and the terminal to access it. So no connection problems to the function generator. I have to work more on this issue to figure it out. The overall experience was more than positive. As you can imagine, for this conclusion, I have several Rigol devices already, and to be honest, I was expecting a really nice experience from this new product. If you feel that this function generator is what is missing on your electronics lab and you are considering to buy one, remember that your sponsorship is really important to maintain these videos going. And if you like my videos, you can always use the affiliate access links on the screen or in the video description whenever you need to access AliExpress or Amazon to do your purchases. This simple action will not cost a cent more, but will give a big help to the channel. For your help, a heartfelt thank you. What also will not cost you a cent more is your slap in the like button to support the channel. And if you are new here or just didn't subscribe yet, let me tell you that hitting that subscribe button is simple and will help you to be on the loop of what new equipments arrive to the market, and every week I review. That's it for today. A sincere thank you for watching this video and spending this time with me. It is really appreciated, and I hope to see you in my next one. Until then, take care.